There's an MLM mom in my daughter's kindergarten WhatsApp group. The kind who calls her son the little prince. One night, she sent a message to the group chat. Hey dears. The weather lately has been just awful. I propose we all chip in $75. With 30 students. That's enough to buy a $2,000 or pure air purifier for the classroom. It's a contribution to the school and will be good for the teachers' throats too. I've sent a payment request. Please go ahead and pay up. No one responded. But she was relentless. Spamming the chat with reminders every day. I couldn't take it anymore. I publicly tagged her, at Tiffany, Jackson's mom. My husband's in construction. I wrote. I propose we install a brand new central air purification system for the entire school. It's about $150. 000. We can all make a contribution for the good of the whole school. I'll personally put in $5. 000. You in? Suddenly, the chat exploded as other parents followed my lead. Haha. You can't fool a coven of seasoned witches with cheap parlor tricks. My daughter, Lily, is 5.5 and in her last year of preschool. My husband and I carefully selected this private school for its great environment and gentle, responsible teachers. When Lily started in the younger class, the teachers helped her develop excellent habits. She could even recite poetry and recognize quite a few words. My husband and I were overjoyed to see how much she was blossoming. After 2.5 years, she was completely comfortable with her classmates and had become more and more confident. When we'd pick her up, we often heard her cheerfully saying goodbye to her teachers and friends. One evening, as I was walking her home from school, she looked up at me and said, Mommy, we have a new student in our class. At a red light. I held her hand tightly. Oh. Really? Do you know his name? Lily nodded. Her little head might be small, but her memory was sharp. His name is Jackson. An interesting choice. It sounded like his parents had high hopes for him. As I mulled it over, just before we got home, Lily asked another question. Mommy, what's a prince? I froze. Seeing my expression, she quickly explained. She said she'd overheard Jackson's mom telling the teacher that her son had a delicate constitution and hadn't adjusted well at his last 2 preschools. She said that even though the teachers there acknowledged he was the little prince of the class, it was hard to avoid oversights in a large group. She hoped he would get more attention at a top-tier school like this. If it didn't work out here either, his father would make the widow and orphan move back to his hometown. Apparently, Tiffany had married into a family from a rural area and didn't want her child to suffer by going back. I knew exactly why our school's tuition was so high. Although there were many students, each class was well staffed. It broke down to about 1 teacher for every 3 children, ensuring everyone got attentive care. Still, to be called a prince. It sounded like Jackson's mom might be one of those prince moms you read about online, the type who looks down on girls because her kid is a boy. If her personality was as bad as I suspected, Jackson's interactions with the other children, under her influence, were bound to be rocky. I couldn't control other people's lives, so I just tried to comfort my daughter. In every mommy's heart, her child is the most important thing. Boys are called princes, and girls are called princesses. Every boy is his family's prince, and every girl is her family's princess. You're all equally important. As we reached our door, to avoid future trouble, I told her. The most important thing about playing with friends is to protect yourself. If someone makes you unhappy, we just won't play with them. Lily shook her head, her eyes curving into happy crescents. I think all my classmates are nice. Especially my best friend, Tina. After putting Lily to bed, I opened my phone to deal with work messages. My husband works in construction, and I'm an accountant for a multinational corporation. Due to the nature of our jobs, we can choose to work from home. Although the pay is only 90% of the in-office salary, being able to spend more time with my daughter during her childhood is a trade-off I'm happy to make. Once work was done, I opened the pinned preschool parent WhatsApp group. The group admin, Chloe's mom, had just added a new parent. The woman's profile picture was a landscape painting, making her seem at least 40. This had to be the Tiffany my daughter mentioned. She was the first to speak. Hi everyone. I'm the mom of the new student, Jackson. My son is 5.5. He loves to sing and dance and has a very outgoing personality. He loves playing with everyone. Please tell your kids to be friends with him and not to exclude him just because he's new. Thanks. I frowned. Something about that message felt off. The other parents didn't seem to mind, just chiming in with the usual welcome to the new student and parent pleasantries. After a burst of activity, the group went quiet. Not even 10 minutes later, she posted a screenshot of her own Facebook feed and tagged everyone. At everyone, hi. We're from a small town and don't have proper jobs to pay for our son's school. I started a little side hustle. I sell some daily necessities and things on my Facebook page: clothing, food, home goods. You name it. If you're interested, feel free to add me as a friend and check out my posts. In the small visible corner of the screenshot, I could clearly see various sketchy, unbranded products. Some were made in a certain country that had just discharged nuclear wastewater. Others were products that had been exposed in a recent consumer protection expose. She didn't even have the ability to use the real "at everyone" tag. She had typed out the words herself. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Chloe's mom, the group admin, didn't pull any punches. She immediately replied. At Tiffany, Jackson's mom. Sorry, but this group is for school-home communication. No advertising is allowed. Since this is your first time, I'm just giving you a heads up. Please delete the message. Tiffany, who had been so active just moments before, suddenly vanished. 5 minutes later, she reappeared, feigning urgency. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. But it's been too long. I can't retract it now. I won't post it again. My apologies. With her explanation, the admin didn't press the issue and just sent an okay emoji. I clicked on her landscape profile picture, getting the feeling this woman was far from easygoing. This had to be the legendary Prince mom. I knew she'd be a handful, but I never expected her to start making waves so quickly at a new school. A few days later, while dropping Lily off at school, I got to witness this Prince mom's absurdity firsthand. She was dressed neatly, her wrists and fingers adorned with various gold jewelry, putting on a show of wealth. She was holding Jackson's arm with one hand while arguing with a teacher. The young teacher's brow was furrowed with a mix of frustration and anxiety. Tiffany, I hope you can understand. We can't control the weather and the pollen. We can't have you stay here after dropping off your son. It will disrupt our teaching schedule. We have a P.E. class soon and need to prepare. Tiffany flew into a rage. You're a teacher. I understand you. But who understands us? My son is already delicate. And he's allergic to all this pollen and dust. How can I just leave him? How can he go to P.E. class? Does he not need to breathe that terrible air outside? Let me tell you. I fought with his old preschool about these little things several times. And they refused to fix them. My son is about to start elementary school. And I don't want to change schools again just to stay in the city. If you don't solve this, I'm not leaving today. I glanced outside. Then at my masked daughter and the other masked children in the yard. It had been an unusually dry spring. With no rain since winter. The air was dry and dusty. With pollen and fluff floating around. Some sensitive kids would naturally feel uncomfortable. But this was an environmental issue. It was like a summer heat wave or a winter cold snap, you just had to endure it. I had never seen a parent pick a fight with the school over something like this. Lily pointed in their direction. Her voice muffled behind her mask. Mommy. That's Jackson. Look. What's wrong with them? I pretended not to know and hurried her away from the drama. After I dropped Lily off and reminded her to listen to her teacher, I turned to leave. The teacher who had been dealing with Tiffany had been replaced by the school director. I don't know what they discussed. But Tiffany's mood seemed to have calmed down a bit. As I passed them, I could still hear her sharp voice. I'm considerate of you. But who's considerate of my child? It's easy for you to say just wear a mask. My son's skin is so delicate. Can he even wear a mask? It restricts his breathing. Forget now. He didn't even wear a mask during that special period a few years ago. I came here for your staff and reputation. I can't believe this happened right after we arrived. Don't forget. We paid the full year's tuition up front. You all better think about that. I silently walked by, rolling my eyes. As if no one else paid for the full year. Like she was special. I don't know how the director eventually convinced her. But after a while, Tiffany gave in. The confrontation ended. And the teachers took the children to warm up. I shook my head, sensing that similar dramas would become a regular occurrence. My premonition was correct. This was just the beginning. Since Jackson's arrival, our normally quiet parent group chat had become much more active. Of course, most of the activity was Tiffany's various MLM ads. Each time the group admin reminded her, she'd use the excuse. Oops. Sorry. I forgot to exclude this group from my mass message. But she never changed her ways. After a few times, no one bothered to call her out anymore. We just ignored it. If she wanted to post, let her. If she had confined her antics to our parent-only group, it would have been one thing. But she wouldn't even spare the main group chat that included the head teacher. If the teacher posted pictures of the kids eating, she would immediately tag her. At MS. Davis. Why isn't my Jackson in the photos? If the teacher posted pictures of the kids napping the next day, she would follow up right behind. At MS. Davis. Please pull my Jackson's blanket down a little. Look. His little face is all red from the heat. It breaks my mommy heart to see. When she got home at night and found a mosquito bite on her son, she would go on a tirade in the group. At MS. Davis. My Jackson was perfectly fine when I dropped him off this morning. How did he come home with a mosquito bite? Is this how you look after the children? The poor head teacher, Ms. Davis, would be as diplomatic as possible. When diplomacy failed, she would immediately apologize. You can't hit a smiling face. Even if Tiffany was furious, she'd usually just say a few more words and then drop it. Occasionally, a parent who couldn't stand it anymore would challenge her, only to be defeated by her illogical and shameless arguments. Over time, not only was she despised by the parent committee, but her son also had no friends in the class. It was Lily who told me that Jackson was being quietly ostracized by the other kids. She said during free play, when the teacher let them form their own groups, some kids would rather risk not getting to play with the building blocks by joining a crowded group than team up with Jackson. Even though the teacher said it wasn't right, they just didn't want to play with him. I asked why. Lily thought for a moment. Jackson is a bad guy. Mommy said people who bully weaker people are bad. I don't play with bad guys. I understood. Jackson had been spoiled rotten by his mother and thought the whole world revolved around him. He would push other kids in class, snatch toys during games, or cause trouble at lunch by pulling someone's chair out from under them. The girls in the class hated him, and the boys were afraid of him. Yet, he was proud of himself, thinking he was the toughest. It was their bad luck to have a classmate like him. I was worried Lily would get hurt, so I could only tell her to stay away from Jackson. I also told her that if Jackson ever bullied her, she should immediately tell a teacher, or tell me and her dad, and we would always be on her side. Lily nodded, seeming to understand. I had assumed that a child would tell their mother about being disliked at school. But in Jackson's case, it seemed his mom was completely oblivious. She continued posting her ads in the group chat as usual, once in the morning and once at night, and still supervised the teachers, demanding they be extra careful with her son. In the small group chat a few of us close parents had, someone finally couldn't take it anymore. Is this woman crazy? Why is she always looking for trouble? Yeah. Ms. Davis is a saint. If it were me, with my temper, I'd have cussed her out and her entire family tree by now. I see it now. She's probably unemployed. Or a desperate housewife. Those words are too kind for her. I think she's just a professional pain in the ass. Every time she made a scene in the main group, our small chat would light up with a chorus of condemnation. Parents would vent their frustrations, their words echoing off one another. But the good times didn't last. One day, at 1 in the morning, Tiffany suddenly sent a message to the parent committee group chat. Hey dears. The weather lately has been just awful. I propose we all chip in $75. With 30 students, that's enough to buy a $2,000 or pure air purifier for the classroom. It's a contribution to the school. And good for the teachers' throats too. I happen to sell these, so I can ship it directly and guarantee the quality. I've sent a payment request. Please go ahead and pay up. Then, without waiting for anyone's opinion, she sent a payment request directly in the group. The bright green banner, "You need to pay $75," seared my eyes. The message hung there for a whole day, until the system automatically reminded me of the unpaid request. It stayed there until the next morning. And still, no one had touched the third rail. The sender was the first to lose her patience. At everyone. Can you guys not see this? Or did you mute the group notifications? I'll send it again. And then she resent the exact same message from the previous morning. Of course. The result was the same, crickets. Tiffany was furious. She started spamming the chat day and night. On a schedule. Her usual product ads were replaced by the group payment request for the air purifier. She was having a one-woman conversation in the group. A whirlwind of activity. The lovely president of the parent committee was fuming in our private chat. Is she sick in the head? Can I just kick her out? Or should we just make a new group with everyone else? I'm so mad. I deal with my boss's crap all day. And then I have to come home to this. I tried to console her. It's okay. At Chloe's mom. There's nothing you can do about people like her. She's the type to argue with teachers and the director over the weather. You can't reason with them. If we made a group without her, she'd probably report us to the Department of Education if she found out. That happened too? The nth time Tiffany sent the payment request in the middle of the night. I finally snapped. I didn't want to get involved with someone like her. But the other parents in the group had tried scolding and reasoning. And nothing could stop her. It was time to fight fire with fire. I thought for a moment and posted a message in the group. At Tiffany, Jackson's mom, hello. I saw your suggestion. And I think you're absolutely right. My husband's in construction. I propose we install a brand new central air purification system for the entire school. It's about $150. 000. We can all make a contribution for the good of the whole school. I'll personally put in $5. 000. You in? Tiffany, who seemed to be staring at her phone 24/7 waiting for payments, suddenly went silent. But my message was a stone cast into a calm lake, creating 1,000 ripples. Instantly, other parents jumped on the bandwagon. At Tiffany, Jackson's mom. My friend is a high school teacher. How about each student chips in $5? 000. And I'll have him come teach our kids for a year? The teachers could learn a lot too. At Tiffany, Jackson's mom. I know a guy who does atmospheric transport. He can move the air from outer space over here. It only costs $300 million. How much are you planning to contribute? At Tiffany, Jackson's mom. I'm a banker. If you can't come up with the money, you can come to me for a loan. At Tiffany, Jackson's mom. I'm in HR. Send me your kid's resume. And I'll find him a job. Let's get your Jackson ahead of the curve with the trophy on the starting line. At Tiffany, Jackson's mom. I'm in construction. Everyone chips in $5 million. And I'll build a new school. You can pick the location. Anywhere you want. Under the relentless bombardment of tags, Tiffany never dared to post another payment request. Many parents sent me private messages. All with the same 2 words, you rock. After we all ganged up on her, Tiffany never spoke in the group again. I felt a little regretful. If I'd known this would work, I would have done it sooner and saved myself so much visual pollution. But I don't know if I was overthinking it. But every time I took my daughter to school after that, I'd run into Tiffany and her son waiting at the entrance. And every time they saw Lily and me, mother and son would, in perfect, startling unison, give us a huge eye roll, let out a loud huff, and stomp away heavily. Sometimes, if we arrived at the entrance at the same time, She would pull her son forward and shove my daughter. Lily was a bit bewildered. "Mommy, what's wrong with them?" I shook my head. "I don't know. Maybe they have strabismus. Their eyes are on the back of their heads and don't work right. We shouldn't be like them. Okay?" Lily giggled and skipped into the school. But a few days later, when I picked her up in the evening, she came out with a long face. Before we had even left the school grounds, she started sobbing. "Mommy, I don't want to go to school anymore." Hearing my daughter's cries, my mind went blank. I wanted to slap myself. It had to be that little brat and his mother. If I had known, I wouldn't have been so quick with my words. Now my daughter was surely being bullied by that little monster. I suppressed my anger, knelt in front of my daughter, and wiped away her tears. "What's wrong? Did Jackson bully you?" Lily shook her head. "No. We have to perform in a show soon. The teacher said it's the last show we'll do in preschool. And they're going to record it for all the parents. It's a dance for two people." "Mommy, can you talk to the teacher? I don't want to dance with Jackson. I don't like him." Her voice grew louder toward the end, a sign of her genuine anger. I breathed a sigh of relief. "So, did Jackson bully you?" I asked carefully. Lily blinked. "I know what you mean. Mommy, I don't play with him, so he can't bully me. But he bullied Tina again. I hate him." Seeing her friend get hurt naturally made my daughter upset. That night, I called the teacher to ask about Lily being paired with Jackson for the dance. Ms. Davis understood my concerns and sighed wearily. "I'm so sorry." Lily's mom. By now, we all know what Jackson's family situation is like. His mother is the type who doesn't listen to reason. There's not much we can do. Lily is the best behaved child in the class and our little class leader. We arranged it this way partly to help develop her leadership skills. "And what if Lily gets bullied?" I said coldly. "You know better than I do what Jackson is like. And his mother had a confrontation with me in the parent group before. I'm worried she'll coach Jackson to mess with my daughter. You should change her dance partner. If you can't, Lily just won't participate in the dance." Ms. Davis was in a difficult position. "I'm so sorry. We should have consulted with you first. But the costumes have all been custom ordered. And the spring gala is only a couple of weeks away. The kids' academic schedule has lightened up. And most of their time is spent practicing the dance. We were worried Lily would feel left out. She's such a happy child. We don't want her to be sad. Please rest assured. We will protect Lily. We will absolutely not let Jackson do anything aggressive. There's only a month left until graduation. This is her last gala performance. Don't you want to see Lily on stage?" I thought of my daughter shining in various activities over the past 2 years and my heart softened. She loved dancing so much. How could she not want to be in a performance like this? Sensing my hesitation, Ms. Davis promised again and again that she would keep a close eye on Lily and Jackson's group. I reluctantly agreed. It was just for the final stretch. We could tough it out. The next morning, I told Lily the outcome. She knew I had fought for her. And even though I'd failed, she didn't blame me. She nodded seriously. "I know. I'll dance well. I want to have beautiful pictures taken." A pang hit my heart. Seeing her so sensible and mature made me feel warm inside. The preschool was performing to the song Waltz of Love. The teacher sent the instructional video to the group chat, asking parents to help their children practice and reinforce the moves at home. Lily was very bright and learned the basic steps after just a few tries. In the videos Ms. Davis sent, she was even able to lead Jackson through the dance. Watching the two children holding hands and dancing with innocent concentration, I found it rather cute. But some people didn't see it that way. Tiffany tagged Ms. Davis again. At Ms. Davis? Who is that child opposite my son? She stepped on my son's foot at one point. Did you make her apologize? Rage boiled up inside me. I wanted to reach through the screen and slap her. It's a dance. An accidental step happens. If you treasure your son that much, why did you even send him to preschool? At Tiffany, Jackson's mom. I typed, I'm so sorry. It was my daughter who accidentally stepped on him while dancing. How about this, I'll bring her to school tomorrow. And you can step on my foot. How does that sound? On the surface, I was being deferential. But anyone could see I was calling her out. Other parents chimed in to smooth things over, complimenting how well Lily danced and saying she looked like she had professional training. Someone even asked if I had enrolled Lily in a dance class. I laughed it off. And the situation didn't get too awkward. In the blink of an eye, it was performance day. The night before, the teacher had sent a notice telling us to arrive at 7 the next morning for makeup and preparations. Parents were welcome to stay but were asked to only bring water bottles and specifically no snacks, to avoid squabbles among the children. Every parent replied with "got it" in the group. The next morning, Lily was too excited to sleep. She got up early, stood on a stool by the sink to wash her face, and waited for me expectantly. Mommy, I get to dance today. Will you send a video of me dancing to Daddy? Seeing her so happy made me happy too. Of course. You dance so beautifully. Daddy already put in a special order to see your performance first thing. Lily giggled. And even the walk to school seemed shorter than usual. As expected, when we arrived, the preschool was a hive of activity. Combined with the unique gala decorations, it had a very festive atmosphere. Under the teacher's guidance, the few of us parents who came to help sat together, watching the little ones let the makeup artist do their faces. Some of the kids who were already done were gathered in small groups, admiring each other's makeup. Chloe's mom said wistfully, "If only we had conditions like this when we were kids. They even have a special makeup artist." I nodded. Yeah. I remember the most we ever got was a little red dot on our foreheads. Another mom next to us chimed in. My teacher in elementary school was a military fanatic. For 7 years. From kindergarten through 6th grade. The girls in my class danced to Green Flowers in the Army every year. I never got to wear a pretty dress like this. We all laughed. The chatter was lively over here. A moment later, a sharp voice cut through the air. What kind of makeup is this? What are the ingredients? How can you put this on my son's face? Let me see it. I usually only use big brands on him, like Chanel or Estee Lauder. We exchanged glances. We didn't need to guess who it was. Besides the prince mom. Who else would be so brazen? The next second, Tiffany stormed over to the makeup artist's side, grabbed her products, and examined them closely. Why doesn't this have a brand name? Ms. Davis? Come look at this. This is the makeup artist you guys found for the kids for $30 a head? I knew it was too cheap. There had to be a catch. You. Young lady. How can you be so young and already making such dirty money? Can you sleep at night after taking our money? She screeched. Her voice laced with a thick accent as she started cursing. The makeup artist was probably a recent graduate. Being attacked so unfairly made her face turn red with anger. She immediately snatched the foundation back from Tiffany's hand. Excuse me. All my makeup is specifically for children. You can look up this brand online. It's not any cheaper than those big foreign brands you mentioned. I charge $30 per person. Whether that's cheap or expensive. It's what I earn for my hard work. I'm not taking advantage of anyone. If you think my work is not good enough, I can refund your money. But please, wipe off the makeup I've already applied to your son. With that, the makeup artist stopped what she was doing, handed Tiffany a clean cotton pad, and stared at her, furious. Perhaps she had never encountered someone so assertive. Tiffany, for once, was cowed. She didn't dare to keep yelling at the artist and instead started calling for Ms. Davis to come and mediate. Ms. Davis rushed in from outside to find a tense, confrontational atmosphere. She first calmed down the makeup artist and asked her to continue her work. Apparently, she was doing makeup for other classes as well, which was why the price was lower. Then she turned to Tiffany, Jackson's mom. This makeup artist has been working with us for several years. She did a great job for the children even when she was still a student. Now she's a professional children's photographer's makeup artist. All her products are suitable for children's skin. Besides, kids' skin is naturally good because they're young. They barely need any foundation. It's mostly just some fun face paint that washes off with water at home. We have so many children and parents in this school, and no one has ever complained about the makeup artist. Today is a happy day for the children. Don't you think? Her words made Tiffany's face flush with shame. She mumbled, well, then I'm relieved. I just transferred here, so I didn't know. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Davis. I'll come back in a bit. Probably feeling like she had made a fool of herself, she didn't dare to come over to where we were sitting. After the kids finished their makeup, they waited for a bit, and soon it was their turn to perform. To reassure me, Ms. Davis had adjusted the lineup during rehearsals, moving Lily and Jackson from the second row on the side of the stage to the center spot. To get a better recording, I moved to the front row. And Tiffany, ever concerned about Jackson, sat down right next to me. I ignored her, my eyes fixed on the dazzling children on stage. I have to admit, maybe it was the mom goggles, but I thought my daughter was breathtaking. She was wearing a pink and white princess dress with white dance tights. Her shoulder-length hair had been curled at the ends and was worn down, topped with a white, crown-like hair clip. She stood poised on stage, like a proud swan. Next to her, Jackson wore a little white suit, though the pants were uniformly short style, which made him look quite sharp too. After a few flashes of light, the music started as usual. Everyone else began to twirl and dance. But Jackson, right there in the center spot, stood as still as a wooden post. He didn't move an inch. I was stunned. Lily was stunned. Even the dance instructor was stunned.